Yeah. I like log out, log back in.
Good
He's still right
morning,
here.
everyone. How are you? And welcome to Thursday. So happy to be here with you. Jen, how are you today?
Hi, I'm
Hi.
great. Lightning has been waiting on my desk for the last 15 minutes. He saw me put up the lights and the camera, and he was just like, "Ooh, it's it's Create a Postcard Day." So he just couldn't wait to join you all today and share his backside with you as he loves to do.
My God, Lightning, we love you. I love that Lightning knows now. He's like, I'm in, guys. You're gonna have a conversation. I'm in.
And he's been sitting, sitting, just letting me pet him gently until we went live.
I love that. With good energy. You leave here with really good energy. Or he wanted to be famous in some other lifetime. It's just there's
I know.
something here.
All right.
All right. Welcome to Debbie. Welcome to Charisse. I hope I said that correctly. So happy to have you here. Everybody else who's joined, I can't always see everyone, so if I don't give a shout out, it's not because I don't want to. It's because I don't see your name. I am lit up today. So I'm a New Yorker and through, and I have born and raised here. And the Knicks, our basketball team, won a championship. It's been 53 years in the making. I was not alive for the last championship. So my father was and shared lots of fun stories about it. But they won on Saturday. I have goosebumps upon goosebumps, and I cannot explain the feeling that we have had in this city. And I wish that I could send it out globally because it has been. Everybody's been talking about it. It's just been this joyful, electric. People are walking down the street, smiling at each other, especially if you have Nick's jersey on, saying hi to each other. Um, Young, old generations, you see the parade is actually happening today in the down lower Manhattan, and thousands. They were expecting roughly about 2 million people. I think we've exceeded that.
Wow.
It is generational. It is grandparents to little kids. There are grandparents in the crowd. You can see little kids on people's shoulders. It is such a big moment. And one of the things I share all of this. Well, I was a huge fan from like the 90s. That's when I was going to games a lot with one of my best friends in the world, and we were cheering for Patrick Ewing and John Starks, these players who made it all the way in the playoffs but never made it to the finals. And so this has been years in the making, and I had a really hard time at one point supporting them because I was like, I don't know if they're making great decisions with their team, and here we are. And this team has a lot of heart. I think that's what's taken them all the way through, to be honest, is the heart that this team has. Um, but one of the things, the reason I bring this all up is this sort of collective joy. Uh, I've been talking with a lot of folks asking, when is the last time that you remember being a part of that? And there's been conversations about, when we all used to watch the same shows and something big would happen and everybody would talk about it the next day. I went back to in the middle of COVID 2020. There became a period of time where we would come out every day at 7 o'clock. Everyone here in the city, I don't know if they did this all over the place, and we would bang pots and pans, and that was a um, celebration for and shout out to all of our first responders, especially those who were in hospitals, letting them know that we were thinking about them, love them, and support them, and became a huge thing. It became the whole city. So you would be able to go out at night at one point. I don't even remember how it started. If you were banging stuff at 7 o'clock, but if you stopped to listen, you could hear it all over the place. It was that feeling of we're together and letting people know we were together. I'm a Yankee fan. I saw it in '96 when the Yankees won in New York City, and I went to that parade. Like the Second Avenue in Manhattan had people throwing confetti out of their windows, like as you were just on the street, people getting out of their cars, hugging one another and celebrating. I that and there's a name for it. I've now seen about this whole idea of community in celebration with one another, feeling that joy. Um, and it is amazing what it does for the spirit. I think we forget, and because the world has been so complicated, and the news has constantly been dark, and the like, you don't realize how bad you need it until you're in it, and all of a sudden you're like, God, this feels good. Wow. um so I've been thinking about that a lot, how we come together in community, when we're creating art, in community, and whether that's online or in person. I have noticed how the shift that brings. I know that it's actually medically, science is slowly catching up, very beneficial for us to be making in community with one another, sharing our stories, creating with our hands together. um this is where my mind is today, because I'm in such a, it's just such a joyful celebratory space to be in, and I'd love to know when the last time is you felt like that. Anybody who's on the call, when's the last time you felt like that sense of joy, collective joy? um, and what does that do for you, for the art, for your art making, for your expression, for your, for everything, for life, for the whole kit and caboodle? Hello, V. Sorry, I wasn't saying hello. Hello, Martian. Oh, there's people here. Hello, we're so happy you're here. Jen, go for it.
Well, I just want to say, like, your energy today is palpable. Like, I can just feel the joy and excitement, and I know that others can as well. So since I have the like vocal voice here, I will just say, like, we feel you.
It's good because it's like bursting out of me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, like, it's visible. It's visible. I'm there's like cat hair flying everywhere at the moment. Sorry. I bet I was like talking with my hands, and so there's just cat hair going everywhere. Downsides. Um, yeah, I love this. I love that idea too of the collective. One, like, we live so much of our lives in isolation. And I know, we keep talking about social media, but even that, it's like, it feels like sometimes like, oh, I'm just like a single voice, like, in this big, vast world. And it doesn't necessarily feel like connection,
Yeah.
versus this opportunity where we get to, connect for a short while.
Yes.
We are obviously having a conversation, but we are so engaged with the folks that are here on the call
Yes.
live with us. And we send our energy, into the future for those who join us in the future. What is time, anyways? So, yeah, like this to me, is like a little like mini connection. I know it's not quite the same energy as the Knicks celebration that we've got going on right now, but um, yeah, I feel like when we intentionally create community of any sort, it's like our that shared experience
Hmm.
becomes a heightened experience. It's not just something that we're living in our own head. Now there's like other stories, and we're connecting heart to heart on a different level.
Yeah.
um, I see it, in spiritual communities. I see it on retreat a lot. So when I'm hosting retreats and we've got that collective of artists coming together, like that energy is just amazing. And the depth, the friendships, that can come out of something that it's like, okay, it might just be a week, but those are like lifelong friendships. Like I've watched them, people continue to stay in touch. And so I think those sorts of things can be that for us, or even like a taking an art class or a studio, an open studio somewhere where you're connecting in creative space with other people. There is a different sense of it's connection and belonging, I think,
Hmm.
is a big part of it, and it's a part of our culture that
Hmm.
we're missing on a
Yeah.
lot of levels. So,
Yeah.
um, deep thoughts followed by yeah, we're missing that. Um, And there also is that piece of being
No, I absolutely love it. Like
it's
things
the
like
comic relief.
I
Yeah.
don't care about this.
um when we're creating together, right, we're sharing our perspective, like, because even if we're all in the room or, like, when we're on retreat somewhere, we all are like in the same place, seeing the same thing, and yet we are bringing with us all of our past experience, all of our own unique ways of seeing and filtering the world. And so even in that space, like, we could all be writing, we could all be painting, we could all be whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to have different expressions that show up,
Mhm.
be, and different experiences of that place. We could all like retell it, or, like, as
Yeah.
we're sharing our art later, oh, here's the horse that I saw, while we were standing in that field, and people be like, there was a horse,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yes. Yeah.
and I think
Very.
that's, yeah, when we're in that space of the collective and
Yeah.
being in collective energy, it's very different.
There is also such an important piece too in there that you touched on is the story. I think that I know within my own life as I questioned moving forward with my own creativity, things like that. A lot of the things that I started to think about were stories, and the stories where I noticed in my life, from my home to out in the world, where I was holding back my story. Um, Whether that it was in addition to a conversation, um, or just not sharing that part of me, that expressive part of me, how that can like pull us back and remove us from a joy that we can find, even if the story that we're telling is hard, or even if the story that we're telling isn't as joyful, expansive thing. um how important story is, because I think that connection, um, whether it's with a player's story, in a game, it is with a friend's story that you're sitting with, a person's story that you learn on retreat. I think it's so incredibly important sharing stories, because that is where we begin to build the connection and that sense of belonging. Like, oh, wow, that piece of that person's story is so similar to something I've experienced. Like, there's that, okay, there's a connection.
Yeah,
And just as you're saying, I used to, a million years ago, have a website where I presented a creative challenge each week for people, and they would share. And this became a very strong community, because if I gave you the color green, everybody was creating something different, but we were all creating that green. We were all doing this thing together, but really learning to love and appreciate the differences in how we were seeing and interpreting the world.
mm,
Um, and I'm looking to host a class coming up, but that about writing, where it will have writing in it, where we will be looking at how we see the world, maybe through one sentence, how we all see it differently, but how we can love each other through
I
that.
love that.
And I think that sense of beginning to connect with one another leads to that joy, even when the connection maybe comes from a place that's insecure or vulnerable, especially. You sort of have the hangover next day of like, oh gosh, I said all that. But somebody sitting in a room with you, or reading something you wrote, or hearing you play a piece of music, or whatever it is, connects with it and is like, wait a second, that that was meant for me. Like, we need to connect in some way. And I don't think we have enough of that. There's a lot of voices that are very, very they just stop the conversation instead of really being able to open it and build a community. And I think community is so needed right now. That actually might be one of the biggest things that's needed in our world right this second, so that
Yeah,
people feel a little bit more connected and not so lonely, and find comfort and belonging with one another.
yeah. And I think that sense of vulnerability, like you said, even the things that feel challenging, like that sense of when we are authentic, when we are sharing from that vulnerable place, we're being human.
Yeah.
you know, and I
Yes.
think that's one of the beautiful things about the arts, like any and all art forms. It connects us in our humanity. And I also think there's, a deeper, we call it spiritual component, that shows up through the arts as well. And so we begin connecting, you know, heart to heart, spirit to spirit, soul to soul, human to human. It's like that sense of wholeness that gets expressed when we're authentically creating, and then sharing
Yeah.
with one another. And that sharing happens in community. And I think, as creatives too, one of the things that sometimes happens is we create in isolation. And so
Yeah.
we don't always necessarily like have to create in community, but there is that shared sense, right, when we're creating in community. But there's also something in the sharing of the art, whether
Yeah.
it's sharing of the story or just having an art reception, where you're inviting other people into the story, where you're doing that piece of the the
Yeah.
sharing the heart, the sharing the soul,
Yeah.
and not just tucking it away in a closet or in a notebook somewhere. And again, there's like another level of vulnerability in that
Yeah.
sharing, but that's how we connect to each other. That's how we remind each other, we're all still here, we're all still in this.
Yes.
And there's hope in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hope and joy to be had in that sense of sharing.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know how it is for anyone on the call, but it's almost like the birthday thing where I will run across people who will be like, I don't celebrate my birthday. And I'm like, wait, but why? Because it's such a good day. You came into the world. Like, you made this place more beautiful. Why would we not celebrate that? I think there is this, and I don't know exactly where it comes from, but within our society, sometimes if I'm not going to, I don't want to be too much. It comes back to
Yeah.
too much. I don't want to be too much. I don't want to you know, I don't want to make people feel like they have to celebrate my birthday. Much like I don't want people to feel like they have to come to my painting. See my painting in an art gallery opening. I don't want them to think that they have to come to this, spoken word poetry event. There's like instead of thinking, and maybe it's just our negativity bias that humans have, right? But it's like instead of thinking like, oh, if I invite them, they might love something, and it may not be just my work; it might be other people's work, and like that sense of, but it is the vulnerability of it. It's like I'm putting myself out there, and yet that vulnerable and uncomfortable space is the biggest space for growth, hands down. When you're feeling it and you're in it, it's so hard to be in it because it's so uncomfortable. And yet, when you get to the other side of it, the growth that happens is just, you're like, okay, I'm going to try this now. I'm going to go for this and see what happens. You keep pushing yourself. Um, Whereas if you hide it, and I know I've been in that space where if I hide it, it just like I shrink instead of growing, which is what I want to do as not just as an artist and a writer and a creative, but as a human being in the world, big time.
Yeah.
So
That makes my heart happy to hear that. They're
well,
all cheering too. I can hear the clapping. They're all like, "Yes, Tasha, put it out there."
well,
this
thank you.
is
Thank you very
this
much.
is our collective dancing in the street moment. Boop, boop, boop. Everybody's partying. Tasha's gonna do it.
But everybody dance along for just no
Dance along, dance along. Yes, yes, yes. I think that's a beautiful, it's a beautiful place to leave the day.
I agree with you.
And I invite
Mhm.
those listening in, those watching in the future, those whose friends say, "Hey, I listened to this call," and blah blah blah. What's one thing you can share? Or who is one person that you can share with? And
Just one.
and just one,
Just
a
one.
safe person, right?
Mhm.
Like you do not have to put any of this out
Yep.
on social media for everybody to share their
Yep.
opinions, but who's
Mhm.
the safe person in your life that you feel comfortable sharing with? and maybe invite them to share something too, because there's that exchange again. When we're sharing our story, we're being authentic, we're being seen, we're being heard, and we're remembering that we are collectively in this human experience together,
Yeah.
and yeah, generating a little bit of hope and hopefully some joy.
Yes, that would be amazing. One person. It's amazing. Amazing what can start with one person and one small share. And it doesn't have to be huge. It can be something that is just a small little nugget inside of you that you want to just be like, I'm going to share this and just see how it goes. Just test it out. See what happens. I'm excited. Who knows
Me
what
too.
could happen next week? What we could hear. To everybody who joined us today, thank you from our heart and soul. It was so wonderful to have you here. We will see you again next Thursday, same time, same channel. That was like that old school, right, Batman? Same bat time, same
Yep.
bat. I just calling out my age there. And to all those who are joining us, you know we love you, and we're so excited that you're here. We love that you're a part of this community. Thank you all. Jen, have an amazing day.
You too, Tosh. Bye, everyone.
Just kidding.